The latest is that Nicusor Dan will be Romania's next president. We've heard in the past few moments that is the cheering you can hear for it. He leads this election runoff against George Simion by more than 900,000 votes, and the official commission says that there are now only slightly more than 800,000 ballots to be counted. In other words, George Simion cannot get to the total that Nicusor Dan has reached, so we know that Dan will be Romania's next president after a campaign that has divided this nation between those backing a populist, nationalist, hard-right politician, a young man with not much political pedigree, but with a view of changing this country, of saying that it was that he was the anti-establishment candidate, picked against Nicusor Dan, the mayor of the city of Bucharest, a 55-year-old, much more experienced politician, pro-West, pro-EU, someone much more from the political centre. You'll remember in the first round of voting, it was Simion who won, who's got a convincing victory. But after that, what seemed to happen is that while he certainly picked up votes, that a lot of the nation really coalesced behind Nicusor Dan and decided that effectively they would pick him simply because they didn't want Simion. There are people here who are very ardently in favour of Nicusor, but there's a lot of people in that crowd who are carrying European Union flags and who said that they feared that Simion would take them out of the EU, something that, I have to say, Simion flatly denied when I asked him about it. There are people there who thought that Simion was a retrograde candidate, the sort of person who would take Romania back towards the philosophy of its communist past, something that there are a lot of people who dread that sort of rhetoric. And there are plenty, particularly here in Bucharest, who see Nicusor as a much more modern political figure. This was a closely run race, and perhaps only a week ago, it was Simion who was the favourite. Tonight, the exit poll came out, and to everyone's surprise, predicted a wide victory in the end for Nicusor Dan. Then the votes started to be counted and it looked a lot closer, but ever since then, actually the gap has got wider and wider. We may not reach exactly that remarkable yawning 10% gap that the exit poll predicted, but it won't be far off. And at the same time, I have to tell you, in neighbouring Poland, they've had the first round of a different presidential runoff, and there they're going to have a final two who once again will be a populist from the hard right pitched against a liberal centre candidate. We will watch with interest there to see if it's replicated, but the news here in Romania is that the next president will be the mayor of Bucharest, a centrist politician, Nicusor Dan.